Hey gamers, welcome to the Part-Time Gamers Club, where we game part-time but support gaming all the time. For those of you tuning back in, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And if it's your first time here, welcome to the crew. I'm Gio, alongside me is Gerard. And on today's episode, we're going to be discussing Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 4. Let's get to it.
So, against my will, I will be talking about the new Last of Us episode, where the let's get it out of the way first, okay? I did not watch the episode, but I know what has been said and the memes that have gone around about what has happened, and I will start off first off. Does not in the game at all. So we'll get out that the game is now better than the show. And that
That's saying a lot.
that's saying a lot because not a lot of people like The Last of Us 2 game. So, with that being said, this is in particular to the moment where Dina mentions to Ellie that she is pregnant. Now, in the game, this one takes a differently turn, but also the pacing is a little bit queered, and there is a lot to say about the show. I know that there are some things that are still faithful to the game, but I wanted to say that just because a show is changing narratives does not mean that it has a political agenda, but it could. And I'm not going to say it isn't that case, but I also don't want people to just assume that that is what they're going with. They could have, the writers or the screenwriter, or particularly the screenwriters, might have chosen to change to make it more impactful, or they thought this would have a better connection or relatability with the audience, or just they might be playing on sex because sex sells. So I want to lead that off there. Now we can be upset about the turn of events. And Gio, I think you watched the show at least, because I haven't watched any of the show. What are your thoughts on the changes in the show, and more overall the vibe you're getting from season 2?
Well, it's a it feels like almost a completely different show from season 1. And what I will say is you've spoken a lot about it to us, especially when we did the first season episode about Last of Us. So I learned a lot of what was going on with storyline. And you warned us. You said, "See, you like if season 2 is about the second game, get ready. It's if they stay faithful to the game," which is funny because they looked like they were staying faithful, and then episode 4 happened, and I texted you. I said, "Yo, did this happen in the game?" Like, and you were like, "What?" And I'm like, "This part," and you're like, "No, that's new." And I was like, out of all the things Naughty Dog and HBO could have done to maybe change the storyline a little bit, this is what they did. I listen. I don't get caught up in the whole
Yeah, let Joel die.
LGBTQ.
Let Joel die still, because that was one of the biggest contentions in the game. But change something no one had any problems with.
So
What is your priorities here, man?
well, I'm trying to understand, like, because you and Mike were coming at me last episode, calling me anti-feminist. But right now, I'm really trying to understand what they're trying to do with Ellie's character. First off, is Ellie's character supposed to be a woman at this point? Because she literally just said, "I'm going to be a dad." What is that about? Like, what are we doing here? What
That
what are we doing here?
so. uh, in the aspects of the relationship she has with Dina, because
Mhm.
it's complicated because I don't know the details in the show now. But uh, in the game, they do have like a connection. Like Dina is with Jesse,
Uh-huh.
but like she's having feelings, not even having feelings, like she is very close with Ellie. And uh in what I've seen so far from the show is that like Ellie's reaction is completely different than what happened in the game. In the show, Ellie is like confused by like Dina, and Dina goes in to kiss, and they have a compassionate. There's a sex scene, whatever, you know. Uh, but like
Random.
it really is random because that conversation is like, all right, if they're having like being romantic together, and Dina says she is pregnant, right? Don't you think Ellie would have some questions? Rather than just like, oh, that's hot. No, no. Like, literally, like, how long have you been pregnant? Whose child is it? Is it Jesse's? Because, like, Jesse and I are like, we don't hate each other. I know him.
Like that.
Yeah, I know him. Like, he's not someone who's just like someone I've never met before. Like, I've met him. So like, there's so many things to talk about. And like in the game, Ellie doesn't really have that same reaction. Like, she's furious because like Dina is pregnant and she's not worried about the baby. And Ellie's like upset. But in the game, she also has an arc. She is like blinded by hatred for Abby and like is on a revenge plot. So like this is just like steering her away from her goal, and it's very upsetting for Ellie. That doesn't seem to be the case in the show, and I don't know what that says about the character at this point.
But this is where I know you said you didn't want to go that agenda pushing route, but I feel like they changed that purposely because they are, in a sense, pushing this agenda. And like I said, bro, I'm not anti-feminist in any way. Like, I love female characters and lead characters in movies,
That's not how
shows.
feminism works,
But
but continue.
but listen, what I'm saying is it doesn't bother me, right? I don't judge them based on if they're woman or man. I based on how good they act. There's never a point in season one that I felt like, man, Ellie's killing it, man. They should put this show around her. Never, not at one point. I thought she was a good supporting cast character. She knew how to play a supporting role. There's a whole different game when you're playing the main role and you're trying to turn this actress, I don't even know if I could call it that at this point, into a action hero almost, badass lesbian. Now she
Can't be
got
badass when you're like, oh, what? Sorry.
yeah. But, but what I'm saying is I'm
Again,
so confused what they're doing with the writing. The writing's terrible. I'm sorry. You don't hear me say that much about shows and stuff, but the writing, I don't know where the hell they're going with this show. And like you said, the biggest backlash of the game, second game, you didn't touch that part of it. You're changing this part of it. And why would you do that? Like you said, now, if they did that with Ellie's character, the same reaction she had in the game, how would the viewers feel? The modern audience, like, oh, why is she being a bitch towards a pregnant woman? You know what I mean?
because literally, think about the world you're in. You're in a zombie-filled world. Like, and like, oh, yeah, she's a bitch. She just watched her father figure die. And she's like, literally, I'm on revenge mode. And you are literally becoming a hindrance to me. It's hilarious. And it's not even more than that, too, because, like, she's like, oh, you're pregnant. You didn't tell me. And now, not only do I have to protect you because, like, you're pregnant, but, like, also, like, you violated a trust because that should be something you tell me immediately that you're pregnant. Because that is something we need to know just to survive. So, like, it violates a sense of trust, and also it is debilitating to what Ellie's goals are. And, like, when you see that in the show, it's like, all right, and that's why I don't want to say it's pushing a narrative or I'm pushing an agenda because the agenda would probably be like better written still. Honestly, it'd probably be better written still. Like if they
They don't
wanted to
even know
go
how to
with the
put the
gender.
gender correctly.
Like honestly, that's why I think it's just poor writing. Because like, sure, I have nothing against the actress. Honestly, like the actress is it's fine, whatever.
Like I said, I thought she was a good supporting role. I thought
Yeah.
she just. That's me. Sorry.
Honestly, even if they killed off Joe, they could have better written everything else, and it would still be on par with the game. I just think they are now changing things
Mm-hmm.
for the sake of staying consistent. Because in
Yep.
the game, Joel's death is like random, but and
Mm-hmm.
also like very like traumatic.
Yeah.
But also like the rest of the game is a character arc for Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
Because like Ellie is not like a cold killer in season 1, but in season 2, because of Joel's death, because of her revenge, she turns into a cold killer. Yeah, she becomes heartless. She becomes cold, and it takes the entire game for her to realize the mistakes and her just seeing like this is a pattern of grief, and I don't want to redo this cycle. And that is the narrative arc. And while we can complain all day about how Joel died, that was the intention, and it succeeds there. It succeeds that's the narrative arc. Is it well done? That's debatable, but we can see the narrative arc.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that narrative arc here. Like I don't see any character changes because like you get a character watching their father figure die, and they're like, "I'm gonna be a dad." That's the line you write, not the fact that like, "Hey, I'm on a mission and you have violated a trust." Even if we're love interests, you have violated a barrier of trust. You did not tell me you were pregnant. That's like very important information for someone who I should be in love with.
Well, not only that, I guess I missed the part where Ellie felt like she was a male figure herself.
That honestly, not even well, that too, but not even the important part of it. It's like when you say I'm going to be a dad, right? This implies that you are in two states. One, going to be capable of being a parent or a father figure for the child. And two, that you are comfortable with your relationship with that other person to assume that that other person is going to be with you while the child is born and you're going to raise them together, okay? And you're
Well,
not even directly responsible for that. So
anyway, she's assuming that Jesse's just gonna welcome him in. Like,
yeah,
this is gonna be a poly relationship all of a sudden. I don't know
yeah.
what the hell. Like,
I
what is
don't
going on?
understand. I don't understand that. Like
The,
it's painful
Jesse's not
how
important. He's the only real man, but he's not important.
it's not. I don't even. I have problems with Jesse, but it's game Jesse, not show Jesse, because I haven't seen much. But I have problems with the naivety that Ellie is showing here, and this is not only like abstract, not abstract, excuse me, a contrast to the character you see in the game, but this is a contrast what we've seen so far in the show. Like we just 2 episodes talked about Joel dying, traumatic experience.
Episode 2. Yep,
Yeah,
episode 2.
it's like a traumatic
And
experience, and that like I know it happens. We talked about it. How the fuck do you go 2 episodes later? This like change, dramatic change. It's like I'm a dad. It's like what do you mean? Like you should either be like uncomfortable being a father figure after your father figure has died in this cruel world, or you should be cautious and concerned with the lack of trust that you now have with this person that you are now romantically with. Okay? So like I was like, I'm not even it's not the line itself that bothers me, even though it's like really poorly written. It is the circumstances it is set in. And it makes no sense to me that this scenario happened.
well, it just baffles me because at the same time, like I'm just sitting here like and you said it yesterday, I think it was. You told me, you're like, damn, Naughty Dog just doubled down. They didn't care. And I'm like, they got all this backlash from the second game, and they're like, you know what? Let's see how we can top this. Let's make some changes in season two, but not what gamers wanted. We're gonna change some other stuff. And I'm like, oh god. Now I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what comes next because I want to see how much worse it gets. Not that I'm waiting to see if it gets better. No, no, no. I want to see how much worse it gets because after season two, from what I looked at, the ratings dropped from it went down to 31.5%. Now I believe that's only cable viewers, so it went from like 900,000 and some change to 600,000 and some change. It was a 31% drop. They're not releasing the streaming numbers for some reason. They're hiding that. That means that's not a good sign. And I'm like, Naughty Dog, like you guys should be aware of what's going on in the gaming industry right now with development teams or gaming companies trying to tell gamers what they should want and what they should like. You think that was a good idea to do it in the show too? Like and then you want to double down on it, like, and then start calling people bigots?
I d-
That's not
yeah,
good practice.
I don't understand because like there are many people at fault here. Like the Naughty Dog is like at fault for the game, right? Sure,
Mhm.
but this is also a key point where like, oh, there are other people like editors and like producers and things like that. People that were not responsible to for making the game and
Mhm.
directors. They're not responsible for making the game, but they are responsible and have some pedigree outside or like in their industry. Like, tell me anywhere where an industry has this kind of writing that's so bad and it was successful.
No, no, doesn't
Because
happen.
like
That's why
if
we're seeing
you
it.
you don't
It's
have to be a
bombing.
gamer, you don't have to be a gamer to see the problem with this. You just don't. And I think this is more than just agenda putting. This is just ignorance because it's not just like
Stubbornness.
Naughty Dog. Yeah, it's stubbornness because
Mhm.
like Naughty Dogs will know what's going on in the gaming industry, but that doesn't say anything to like how the movie industry is. But the movie industry, in my
Very
opinion,
similar, actually.
yeah,
It's very
very
similar. Same
similar.
situation. It's very same
It's like
similar situation.
a lot of people are complaining about agenda pushing or
Mhm.
political movies
Yeah.
nowadays. And how are you going to do that in another industry that's in the exact same boat as gaming industry? Like you
Mhm.
that's basically like, hey, my grass is on fire. I'm gonna go to the next store where the grass is very dry and see if I can light a fire there and not have the grass burn down.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
do the exact same thing. You're going to set yourself in the exact same predicament. Obviously, you didn't learn anything.
Well, they didn't because they saw season one do successful, so they probably thought, "Oh, season two is going to be great." Last of Us two episode, Last of Us, the second one, the game. Oh, it had all these critical acclaims and stuff. Well, that doesn't work in 2025 because now the independent space has exposed gaming journalism for what they really are. So we don't care for journalists anymore. And now Rotten Tomatoes is the same thing. Oh, season two has 90%, 95, 96% from the critics, but only 48 or 49% from the audience. Now they try to twist it too. They try to say, oh, we're being, what is it, review bombed. Why can't it just be that the audience is giving you their honest opinion? We can't be bought off. You can't get chummy with us and ask us for a favor to write a good review for you. You can't. So granted, the critics might be on your side, but as you can see, they're the minority. We're the majority. So if you want to keep playing that game, that's fine. Naughty Dog, I would have thought you would realize what's going on in your own industry to know not to try that in the film industry, especially because Disney is another one of those companies that have been playing that game, and their movies have been bombing. Like the Snow White movie is one of the biggest box office disasters in recent memory.
I I heard it wasn't even the color switch. It was just poorly written as well. On top of that,
Snow White.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Snow White is just garbage movie, and then that girl Rachel Zegler just going at it with Gal Gadot. You know, I'm on Gal Gadot's side. I don't give a damn about Rachel Zegler. She's annoying as hell if you ask me. But it just it's just stupidity. It's just, and I'm like, wow. Like I know we talked about this in our other episode. I just don't understand when these companies are gonna wake up and realize we're the majority. You have to cater to your consumer. You have to if you want to stay in business. What's the number one rule in any retail business? The customer's always right. Apparently not in the gaming industry, in the movie industry for some reason. They think they're right. So I'm like, I don't know what to say anymore. I don't know.
I don't. It is weird to me how any industry that is dependent on its consumer
Mhm.
can say that the consumer is wrong.
We're watching it happen.
Like,
We're
I
trying.
don't understand how any American specifically company
Mhm.
can say anything about their consumers being wrong when America, I don't quote me on this. America's probably the place where the quotes started with "the customer's always right." I don't know where that like it that motto doesn't change when you leave retail. I want you to know that. All right? I
It's not
need
just
you
out
to
of the
know.
retail industry.
Yeah, honestly, the retail industry brings it up often. It is probably the only place where that doesn't fucking apply. Funny enough,
True,
like
it's true.
the place that has that motto is the place where it shouldn't belong. Everywhere else, it should probably be true.
It's so true because and when customers try to tell me the policies and stuff, I'm like, really, really, okay, yeah, okay.
They're like, oh, here's a discount I have it, and it's like I could see on the bottom it says it's expired like last year, and they were like, no, you should still accept it. You still accept it. I was like, no, I'm not gonna accept it. Why would I accept something that is expired?
Bro, it's like I had a customer one time where we had this $600 pool, and somebody had a label of it for like $7. Customer was trying to argue with me, telling me, you got to give it to me for that price. You have to. That's your rules. I said, no. Our rules is store manager discretion, and it has to be within reason. And I'm the manager in charge, and I say, no. I'll give you a discount, but I ain't gonna sell you a $600 pool for $7.
Yeah, like honestly, it is baffling to me that there are entertainment industries, and I need to stress this because this is something I believe deep down in myself. All right, entertainment industries are things we want, we don't need. We
Correct.
don't need them. They are luxuries. I can go my entire life. It would be a sad life, but I could go my entire life without watching a movie or playing a video game.
Well, a lot of people don't realize a lot of this came in the last 100 years of humanity. So it hasn't even been like, and I think movies and music
Movies have
has
been
probably been around.
music has been forever, but
Yeah.
movies has been old as well. Like we had black and whites, and before
Yeah.
that, theater was a big thing. Theater was just live action movies. That's all they were.
Yeah. Yep.
Funny enough, live action has probably changed long, changes the meaning of that. But it just goes to show that we have decided that, and we're saying we, I'm at the industry has decided that they are so important that they can dictate what comes out, and we are not allowed to give any input. And that makes no sense to me. You are not a requirement for my life. Stop treating it as such. And even things that are a requirement in my life, like healthcare or like shelter, like free stuff, or not free stuff, but like things that ensure my livelihood, I'm already fighting for in my country. But it is sad to me that this idea that, oh, you're wrong about what we make, you're incorrect about what you like, and that is just plain ignorant and deceptive, and most of it disrespectful.
Oh yeah,
Be-
and they tell you if you don't spend your money on it, that you're a bigot or that you're some kind of like sexist. You're this, you're that. Wait, what?
yeah, like I understand if I was actually like, this is like how I feel about the reason why I think DEI is blown up beyond what it should be, is
Yeah,
because there are people who are hiding behind DEI for,
correct. Hmm.
and it pains me to say, it's like, hey, have you ever thought that maybe if you did DEI in a better way, it'd probably be successful? Are you telling me this is the best way you can implement DEI? Because if that's the case, then you're not doing DEI justice. Because DEI is supposed to be like including. It should be making sure
Equal
equality exists
opportunity.
and
Hmm.
diversity. All right. None of those three things should influence what the outcome is. All right.
Hmm.
There should be no way by doing those three things that something is worse. Okay. So if people are complaining that the movie is bad, and DEI is what they're going to point out because they have no other reason why to tell you. Because again, we, the consumer, don't need to know why it's good or why it's bad. We will tell you if it's good or if it's bad. Not
Hmm.
why, that's your job to figure out. We just tell you if it's good or bad. If you say we're wrong, that means you're stupid because you can't figure out what makes a good movie
Hmm.
or what a good game. Because this is
Yeah.
all
They can't
encompassing to
figure
all
out where they
industry.
went wrong. They can't figure out where they went wrong, and then they want to blame the gamers or the fans or the movie watchers on, you know, why they are not spending their money on it. Like, how you gonna tell me why I'm not spending my money on it when you don't even know what you're doing wrong or won't
Exactly.
accept what you're doing wrong? That's the other thing. Because even when we do try to tell them what we're looking for, they're trying to tell us, no, 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 you don't want that anymore. This is what you want. This is where the direction we're supposed to go. No, that's not
Yeah,
how this works.
and that, the problem is that when they are saying we are wrong for it, that is when the backlash comes out, and that's my personal belief on why DEI is taking the largest hit,
Oh
because
yeah.
we the consumer don't know what, like, why, like, specifically why we hate it, so we're gonna go with the most surface level thoughts. The most surface level thought is there is now a black character in the movie. I can see it. It is different than what I'm used to. I will throw my hate there. And if you can tell me why people hate that because they're saying they're racist, sure. But when you tell them they're wrong and that they're racist, and not just like, hey, if this person was white, would the movie be better? And you and they if they like, I want a movie producer to do this. I want them to make two versions of the movies with one character being black and one character being white, and put out both movies and see if both movies bomb. Guess what? It was written poorly.
Well, not only that. All right, let's do it this way too. So, for instance, what they did with the Captain America movie just recently, Braveheart or whatever the hell it's called. Anyway, listen, I love Anthony Mackie as an actor. I tell you about the Twisted Metal series. I've watched tons of Anthony Mackie movies. I watched the show he did for Disney. When I saw that trailer for the movie, I wasn't feeling it. And here's my point, and this is the point I'm going to make to anyone that tries to say is racism. Like Gerard just said, let's do Black Panther with a white actor versus Chadwick Boseman, and then let's do like we just did with Captain America, like you just did with Captain America. You put Anthony Mackie, and now granted, some people are gonna be like, "What that was part of the comics? That's a different universe." Blah blah blah. Okay, but the majority of Captain America comics is a white guy. I'm sorry to tell you, we don't. I think the problem is too. I don't care to change current or history's comic characters to my race. I'd rather just have you make a new character for us. Like Black Panther, it was for blacks. If you make one for Hispanics, I'm cool with it. You don't have to change Captain America to Captain Boricua. You don't need to do that, all right? Because technically, if you want to be honest, Captain America only has one star on him, so he's technically Captain Boricua anyway. but, but my point is, if you don't like it done to your like, I know for a fact. black people, Hispanics, anybody would be pissed off if they changed it to a white character.
You're talking
So
about Black
I
Panther?
can't. Yeah,
Okay.
but not just Black Panther, but even if we're talking about a historical figure that was Hispanic, you put a
Blue
white
Beetle.
actor to do it. If you think about it, the only one we didn't get mad about was Al Pacino as Scarface, because he played a Cuban, but he got a pass. It went out well. It's kind of like Robert Downey Jr. when he played the black character. It was hilarious. It played it well.
I was gonna say that aged very poorly in this culture that we're in right now.
I don't know so because I think those memes all over the place with him. But what I'm saying is, it, listen, I don't care to change the colors like that. I don't. I try not to see color. I didn't want to see the Captain America movie just because it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. It just didn't to me.
Yeah,
So
and I see what you're saying, because like it's one thing. I'm not gonna say that a character can't be or has to be a certain color or things like that, but I also understand like, hey, it doesn't need to be a different, like Captain America doesn't need to be black. He could be black if he wants to be, or not wants to be, if the character ends up being black.
yeah,
But like, you could also just create new characters. Like Avengers, you're not doing comic books anyway. Your own narrative arc. You can choose to do something different. But then again, I also say Avengers like story arc and everything recently has not been up to par anyway. So I do
Marvel's
think,
destroyed it. Well, Disney has destroyed Marvel, like they're doing Star Wars.
yeah.
They're doing
So
the same thing.
anyway, we've off topic,
Yeah,
changed dramatically, but I think that's it from us. Do you have any final things you want to bring up about what we started with is Last of Us?
But Last of Us. Yeah, no, I mean, just let us know what you think down below regarding, the episode 4. Where do you think the direction of season 2 is going? How do you feel so far about season 2? Are you still watching season 2? Just let us know.
Yeah. I have a question for us. Make sure you leave a like and comment down below on your answer, because I need people who are going to white knight this. Make it make sense. Please make it make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, if you're gonna white knight it to me, I don't care. Make it make sense. And if it doesn't make sense to me, then you're doing a bad job. You don't stop white knighting. Take off your armor. All right, you're doing a bad job.
Kind of like the rest of the industry. Just stop doing it.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.